Abraham Lincoln was born in 1809 in a one-room log cabin in Hardin County, Kentucky. His family was poor. His father, Thomas Lincoln, struggled as a farmer. His mother, Nancy, died when Abraham was just 9. Life in the frontier was harsh. There were no luxuries, no formal schools. Yet young Abraham had an endless hunger for knowledge. He borrowed books, read by firelight, and taught himself. Neighbors remembered him walking miles just to borrow a single book. The wilderness shaped his strength. The books shaped his mind. Abraham Lincoln, a name carved into the heart of American history. From a log cabin in Kentucky to the White House in Washington, from splitting rails to freeing slaves, he was a man of contradictions, humble yet ambitious, gentle yet unbreakable, a lawyer who became the voice of freedom. His life was not easy, his rise not certain, but his vision, a nation united and free, still echoes through centuries. Lincoln received less than a year of formal education, but he never stopped learning. He studied law by reading Blackstone's commentaries. He memorized passages from Shakespeare and the Bible. He practiced writing speeches, standing before the woods as if they were his audience. His tall, lanky figure, awkward at first, began to carry confidence. In debates, he earned respect for his clear logic and sharp wit. He once said, "My best friend is a man who will give me a book I have not read." Knowledge became his weapon, words his greatest tool. As a young man, Lincoln worked every job he could find. He split rails for fences. He guided flatboats down the Mississippi. He served as a shopkeeper, a postmaster, and even a militia captain in the Black Hawk War. But his real calling was politics. In 1834, he was elected to the Illinois state legislature. Here, the rail splitter from the frontier became a rising political figure. He taught himself law, passed the bar, and opened a law practice in Springfield. Step by step, he built a reputation for honesty, intelligence, and powerful oratory. People began to call him Honest Abe. In 1858, Lincoln challenged Senator Stephen Douglas for his seat in Illinois. The Lincoln-Douglas debates became legendary. Douglas argued for popular sovereignty, that each state should decide on slavery. Lincoln opposed slavery's spread, declaring, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." Crowds gathered by the thousands. Lincoln's tall frame, his booming voice, and his moral clarity electrified audiences. He lost the Senate race, but he won the nation's attention. Lincoln was no longer just a frontier lawyer. He was a voice of conscience. In 1860, the nation was divided like never before. The question of slavery tore North and South apart. The new Republican Party needed a candidate, someone strong but not radical, moral but practical. They chose Abraham Lincoln. His speeches against slavery, his humble image as a man of the people, and his steady character made him the perfect choice. When he won the presidency, the South saw it as a threat. Before he even took office, 7 states had seceded. The stage was set for America's greatest trial. By 1862, the war had raged for over a year. Lincoln saw a chance to strike at the heart of the Confederacy. He issued the Emancipation Proclamation. All persons held as slaves within rebellious states are, and henceforward shall be, free. It changed the war's purpose. It was no longer just about the Union. It was about freedom. The word spread like wildfire. To enslaved people, it was the first dawn of liberty. To abolitionists, it was victory. Europe, watching closely, hesitated to support the Confederacy. Lincoln had turned the war into a moral crusade. In April 1861, Confederate cannons fired on Fort Sumter. The Civil War had begun. Lincoln faced an impossible task: preserve the Union without destroying liberty. He learned strategy as he went, studying maps late into the night. He replaced generals, searched for leaders, and finally found Ulysses S. Grant. Lincoln visited soldiers, walked among camps, listened to their stories. They loved him because he shared their burdens. The war was long, bloody, and uncertain. But Lincoln's resolve never broke. The Union must be preserved. In July 1863, Union forces won a decisive victory at Gettysburg. Months later, Lincoln delivered a short speech that became immortal. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. In just 272 words, the Gettysburg Address redefined the war, a fight for freedom, equality, and a new birth of liberty. It was not just about saving the Union. It was about fulfilling its promise. The tall man from the log cabin spoke words that would echo forever. By 1865, the Union had triumphed. The Confederacy was collapsing. Slavery was dying. On April 9, Lee surrendered at Appomattox. The war was over. Lincoln dreamed of healing, of malice toward none, with charity for all. But fate was cruel. Just days later, on April 14th, while watching a play at Ford's Theater, he was shot by John Wilkes Booth. The president who saved the Union died the next morning. The nation mourned. Millions wept. The rail splitter from Kentucky had become America's martyr.